Hey guys, it's Zach here again, and I finally have new shafts for my truck. They're all steel shafts, all six of them, for the ones going from the transmission to the gearboxes, and then the ones going from the gearboxes to the wheels. I got all new steel shafts, and I've actually had them for about a week now. Got them for my birthday from my dad, and I was gonna show you whenever I first got them, but I didn't have any batteries for my camera, so I couldn't really do it. But now I got batteries, so now I'm actually going to be able to show you them. Okay, so here's my truck, as always. If anybody else has watched any of the other episodes, you know what it already looks like. It's a blue E-Max, brushed, or with brushes, or whatever you really want to say. And I'll just back down here. Yeah, I got a little bit muddy yesterday, and there's my dog Taffy. Yeah, I got a little bit muddy, got the wheels muddy and whatnot. And yeah, you can see them right there. Steel shaft going all the way up there. Little one there. They're all just there, down there. So now I got steel shafts on a brushed setup, I guess you could say. One other thing I might as well tell you guys is this skid plate right here. If you look at it, you can, yeah, I guess you can kind of see it, how it dips down right here. It's because I don't know what I did, and I don't know exactly how I did it, but I managed to bend it, and whenever I bent it straight up. And yeah, so I had to take it into my dad's garage and shove it into the vise and hit it with a hammer a few times to get it straight, and well, it worked. So I thought for sure that I ruined it, but I didn't. And one other thing I also should mention is that the other day, hey, no barking. One sec, get my dog out. Awful. Okay, as I was saying, the other day whenever I was driving it, and this is whenever I got my truck all put back together and got the gearboxes in, which I'll tell you about in a minute. I was driving it, and right down here on the second arm, and also the first arm, you can drill out the screws a little bit, like make them so they're not as far in, so the wheels are, the bottom of it is like farther out. And I was thinking of doing that so then I could so then I could actually take turns faster and not like flip it over and whatnot. So I did that, and one of my boots, or I think they're called boots, I think it might be one sec. I'm not sure which one it is, but it's one of these little blue things. I'm not sure if they're called boots or what they're called. But yeah, apparently the shaft itself wasn't in the end of it properly, so it popped out and it tore the plastic rubber thingamajig, the blue thing. It tore it a little bit, but it didn't like completely demolish it. It just tore it. So I'm kind of glad that it didn't do any permanent damage, but I'm just gonna have to keep an eye on it just to make sure that nothing seizes up, because these shafts aren't expensive. For the whole set, it's like 80 bucks. So it's, yeah. And what I was saying a few minutes ago about my gearbox is, you can see it right there. See, just a little gearbox, and a little hump for it is right there. And well, whenever I took it apart, because I pretty much demolished one of my bearings in it. I noticed, and that's why I was driving so rough. yeah, so I demolished the bearing, so I had to take it all apart and whatnot and get new bearings, and I replaced all the bearings in it anyways. And yeah, so I put it in, and this little hump here was on this side, pointing that way. Like, the heads of the screws were that way, the ends of the screw were that way. And so then, whenever the wheels went forwards, like the front wheels went forwards, the back wheels went like backwards, like that way. Well, that way. I don't know if you can really see that. Looks like I'm going up and down. But, yeah, so it's kind of disappointing because I had it all hooked up, and then I decided just to push on the floor just to see if it went good, and it didn't. So yeah, now I got everything put back together and got it all greased up, put together, screwed in, and trying to think of anything. Oh, and I went to Great Hobbies the other day, and I was looking for I'm pretty sure they're called shrouds, for like there's like a mesh thing that goes right over this area. And apparently they don't have any for the E-Max. They got it for the E-Revo, but that won't fit according to them. And they can't order it through any of their sites that they know because they don't really do that. So, fortunately, I'm going to have to order it myself. Well, on the website, like the official website, it's like 40 bucks for one. But there's a certain brand. But I found one on eBay for like 20 bucks. And it even has a zipper in it, which is pretty cool. So, I'm going to be looking into one of them someday. And one other thing I got to mention, sorry if I'm boring you guys, but you got a lot to talk about right now, is that these two motors, I really want to get two 700 motors instead of the 550s. Just so then I got more power, and it probably won't use up as much energy, and it might actually be easier on my EVX there. And just to tell you, since I'm pretty sure I told you about all the troubles I've had with my EVX, ever since I got the two regular Titan 550 motors, never had a problem with them, never had a problem with my batteries overheating, never had a problem with my EVX overheating. Sure, it gets hot and whatnot, like the little metal things right there. And the batteries do get warm, and the motors do get warm, but they don't get like melting hot. So, kind of glad of that. Yeah. See how free it is? Yeah, one other thing that I also want to try to get sometime is a thicker shock oil. Like, right now I got 30. I'm not sure what exactly it stands for, but it's just 30 on the bottle. Yeah, yeah, I'm pretty sure that I got 30. And for the front it's pretty good, for the back it's a little better, mainly because I got these little, I don't know if you can, these little like jack thingamajigs. Little pieces that you put in there, and it makes the shocks harder. But for the front, I didn't have any more, unfortunately. So now the front's like really flexible and the back's kind of rough. So yeah, and I'm not sure if you can even buy these or what it is, but and the last thing that I gotta talk about before I bore you guys so much that you'll be falling asleep in the chair is this summer I'm going to be going out west. Going to be going visiting my mom, her boyfriend, their dogs, and my sister and my nephew. And I'm hoping to take my truck with me. And well, I got it all planned out just to kind of make it smaller. Is probably take these screws out here on like both or all 8 shocks, so then it'll be laying like that, so then it uses up like less space. And then, well, with the body, it might be a little bit bigger, but that's about as tall as it'll be there. And then I'm gonna have to bring up like a bag or a mini toolbox just of tools, spare parts, screwdrivers, wrenches, whatnot. And yeah, and I'll be in Alberta for a little while and bring my camera with me, bring some batteries, and do some filming up there, see how it works out. And so yeah, that's pretty much a little update on my Emax and what I'd like to do with it and what I've already done with it. And also what's probably... Oh, I know that you guys are getting boring, but this is the last thing I honestly guarantee. Is that my new body, my Chevy Silverado body, that I've shown in previous videos, I really need it now because, well, you can see the hole right there, how big it is, and the hole right there. The holes in the front aren't too bad, they're getting worn out like the paint. And then back here it's all torn up, and like this back part right here is ready to fall right off. There's big like cracks right there, you can't really see them with this camera. There's crack right there. It's all kind of bent along the edges, and the front's broken, and yeah, it's just a cheaply made body. Trax probably made this thing for $5, if that. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much an update for you guys, and I guess I gotta let my dog in, but I guess I'll see you on the next episode.